video is gonna be a little different. Um, I I think my YouTube channel doesn't really know much about, well, I mean, kind of, but I do tarot readings on my TikTok, and I thought maybe I want to do a little change, a little switch up, and do my readings on my YouTube as well. So this is gonna be the first of that, and I have my cards here, but I already kind of have a message that I wanted to share in this book. So I think I'm gonna start there. And if I need to pull some cards, I have them here. Today I'm going to be using these two, one tarot, one oracle, my Ask the Witch, and my Whispers of Healing. This is kind of not awkward, but different style. I'm not used to it, but I think it'd be fine. So this is going to be, well, I did this message on October 28th, which was the full moon Taurus lunar eclipse. It was that message. I see a little lizard. Hello, lizard. There's a plane going by. But okay, let's just start off. I'm gonna put some numbers that you may have been seeing. 26, 888, 666, and 222 could be a sign that this message is for you. So for this collective, I was getting that there may have been a loss of perception. It was saying psych affected by a loss of balance and inauthenticity. It's a call for pause and reevaluation to avoid chaos, confusion, and possible dangers. Third eye affected. This collective may have been going through some shifts, and it may have affected the way that you see yourself or affected the way that you see the world. Spirit is saying that right now a time for reflection is needed, a time for understanding self is needed. Maybe some third eye meditations could help, because this lunar eclipse was something very intense. Like, even for me and what I've been seeing, everyone's been like, the energy has just felt very heavy. Like, it's been a time. So it's saying, how do you see yourself, and how has your perception of self changed? Are you seeing yourself for yourself? What is the truth of the matter? So those are some questions that maybe you guys could be asking yourself if you've been feeling like you're not really seeing things for how you need to be seeing them, or you're not really seeing things for how you want to. You're not seeing yourself how you want to. And that's okay, it happens. Some things happen that kind of just block how we are seeing things, but it's up to us to come back to that and to come back to that perception. Thank you to the wind, because it's a little hot out here. I wrote down, take things step by step. Take things step by step in this process. So if you're having some third eye blockages, maybe start at the root. You know, you don't have to start all the way at the third eye, because if your root is unbalanced, then trying to unblock or figure out the blockages in your third eye might cause even more disarray or dysfunction. Because if you're not secure and centered in yourself, then the blockage is still going to be present. So this is taking things step by step, working your way up. If you have to do those meditations where it's like full chakra cleanse, you gotta do what you gotta do. Just take it step by step. There's no guidebook of what your steps look like or how they should be. It says, know thyself is the antithesis of a damaged brow, damaged third eye. Like I was saying, once you know who you are, then you can clearly see yourself. But it takes learning yourself to actually know, what are you seeing? How can I say that in a better way? It takes knowing yourself to know when you are seeing yourself for you and when you're seeing yourself through other people's lenses and perceptions. Ooh, all right, so we have some child's pose. Child's pose and some lavender oil. So that could just be some things that you can do to help in the process doing child's pose. I honestly, before I got on this camera, I was laying here and I was just laying because the sun feels so nice. It feels so nice. It just feels so good on my skin. I was doing a little bit of yoga, but I was like, you know what? I just want to lay here. Like I just want to sit and bask in the environment that I'm in right now. All right, so we have ritual, protection, and intention. Everything is in safe hands and awareness of all things. The third eye, not the third eye. Well, it could be. It says the eye will stop intruders. This is providing discernment. Your heart chakra is being activated, and protection is here for you. So I think when I was writing this has to do in terms of your spiritual team is doing the absolute best at the moment to provide you with the protection and awareness of things that you may not be seeing. And this is a call to not necessarily let down your guard, but kind of let down the anxiety of thinking you're not protected and thinking that things are not going to work out in your own favor, right? So I'm seeing this ritual. If you are a witch or dive into the witchy things, this could be you doing a ritual for yourself if that makes you feel more secure in your protection. Doing those protection rituals, saying those protection mantras, like just so that you feel more secure in yourself and in where you are in your journey, and knowing that you are safe, you are heard and protected. This eye, and I think that it kind of goes hand in hand of cracking my toes. It kind of goes hand in hand. The eye will stop intruders and provides discernment. So this, I think, is the reason why that last message, because they're kind of separated, but I didn't say they were separated, but they kind of are. I mean, this is one full message, but I kind of do them in parts, you know. Sorry. I'm just here, y'all. I'm stretching as I'm doing this message. I'm just letting myself be. So it kind of makes me stop and think when it says the eye will stop intruders. So this is the discernment. This is praying for the discernment. Like, because I feel like there becomes a time, it doesn't become a time, but there becomes a space where your guides are going to want you to be able to handle things on your own. Your guides are going to want you to trust your own intuition when it comes to people, places, and things. So it's like, it's a call for healing of your third eye, like trusting. This is trust. This is trust. This is a trust message, it seems like. And taking those steps to build the trust within yourself, to build that security within yourself. Excuse me. Like spiritual baths, hydrate your soul and mind, connecting back with the feminine nature of flow. So this is getting back to that nurturing spirit. This is coming back to like the feminine touch of healing, and not so disciplined healing, but like the more nurturing and caring and free flowing type of healing, kind of like Cancer energy versus Capricorn energy. The cancer healing is more like, oh, let me give you this food, let me make sure that your motherly wounds, motherly needs are met. I think that makes sense. Motherly, taking care of how like a mother would take care of you, while as like the Capricorn is more like take care of yourself through discipline and hard work. Like those things are healing as well, but the type of healing that this collective may need may be more of like the feminine healing, where it's like it's more emotional, it's more in tune with the needs of self and others. So this is a call to just be aware of that and finding ways to be more femininely healing to yourself, and not diplomatic, but like the discipline is going to be a different type of discipline. This is not going to be like you need to wake up at this time and do this like this is more just going with the flow of things and implementing the discipline with the flow, you know. Some like the Capricorn Cancer axes, I don't believe they are sister signs. No, they're not. Or are they? I'm not sure. But I've just been seeing like the drastic difference of the Cancer Capricorn, because Cancer is very much like, I'm going to take care of this household by being in this household and doing the cooking, the cleaning, the sweep, making sure everything's maintained, while Capricorn is more like, I gotta go get that money. I gotta go and do what I gotta do to make sure the house is provided for. So this is like finding that balance between the inner and the outer, making a good middle for yourself, finding where in which you can like implement that balance, you know. So this could be for the water signs out there and the earth signs. It's saying replenish yourself, sleep, rest, and doing activities you don't have to think about. Let your mind rest and your body move. That is lovely, because that is exactly that feminine healing, replenishing through resting and sleeping, doing activities that you don't have to think about, that you can just use your body to really get into. I would say for me, like me doing these readings, I don't think like, it's more so me just being in tune with how I feel and letting my body, letting my throat just speak, not like thinking too much about the words I'm gonna say or how to say it. I mean, sometimes I do be like, okay, how can I word this better? But it's like taking the time to do things that really ground you. Like this is a time for grounding, and because this eclipse, I feel like had a lot of people doing the shadow work. It had a lot of people doing the shadow work, but shadow work takes a lot of like mental energy. Like it does. It really does, because you really have to sit there and like think and dive deep into what is happening, what is processing, like why is this going on. So how to kind of combat that energy is just taking the time to ground yourself. Like you can use me as an example. Right now I'm outside in our neighborhood gazebo, and I just was like, you know, my mind can't handle everything So I'm letting my body do what it needs to do. I have some food prepared, well, being prepared for when I come back, so that I'm not having to think about what I need to eat when I get back in the house. Some more signs that this could be for you: 333, 313, seeing the number 6, seeing the number 47, 11, or even 1147, and 222. And saying spend time with self, mind, body, spirit, or even spending time with replenishing friends. And this is like, you have to know yourself to know what you need. You have to know, because I'm saying, or even spending time with replenishing friends, but if you don't know yourself, and if you don't know that the friends that you have are actually more draining than they are replenishing, that could be detrimental. You could just honestly mess yourself all the way up by trying to do something that is not in alignment just because you don't know your worth or because you don't know what you deserve. So it's like, this is why this is a time, this is a call for spending time with self, mind, body, and spirit. This is like a check-in. These are like, this eclipse was like a needed check-in with yourself, with your mind, body, and spirit, so that you know what you need whenever you step back out into the world. Like, your mind is centered, your body is centered, your spirit is centered. All of those things are back into alignment, so that when you go out into that world, you know what your alignment is, and you won't settle for anything less than that. Like, that's just that. So, oh my gosh, see, look. Literally the next sentence that's right here is knowing what you need and how to make sure your needs are being met, winding around obstacles in order to reach your needs. How can you locate and reach deep? I think that winding around obstacles in order to reach your needs is something that needs to be explored, because whenever obstacles come into place, it kind of stops the self-care. I'll say it like that, because if you're experiencing an obstacle you've never experienced before, it kind of feels like, oh my god, I have to take care of this. I don't know how to take care of this. I don't know how to take care of this and take care of myself. But this is like a call to, how can you find the balance between taking care of the obstacles in your life and taking care of yourself at the same time, like simultaneously. This is not a time to be leaving yourself out, but it's also not a time to be leaving out like other things. So, because, hey, this collective got goals. This collective has things that they want to succeed in. So this is like, how can I reach those goals, but while also taking care of myself, not doing too much. I want to put this higher. Not doing too much and not being self-sacrificial to the point where one thing gets left out, and while one thing prospers, while this is like one thing slowly, one step here, one step here, one step here, one step here, instead of all these steps here. Okay, but what about this? We need to find an equal balance so everything is kind of climbing at the same time, right? And then we have consciousness, recognizes self, awareness, attention, and honesty. So this is going to take awareness, attention, and honesty with self of where in your life where does the balance need to come in? It says, where attention goes, energy flows. Choose that. It says, where attention goes, energy flows. Choose that to which I attend wisely. This is point blank clear. where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if you are focusing way too much on one thing, of course, you're going to forget about the other thing. So it's like, this can be seen in so many different lights, and I'll try to incorporate a couple of different perspectives that are coming to me. The first one being that when I was just saying, if you're focusing too much on one thing, you don't have time to focus on the other thing. So of course there's going to be a balance. There has to be a balance of focus, of focusing here and focusing here and focusing here. If you're someone of neurodivergency or in that realm of spectrum, then it's understandable. Things get out of hand, and as soon as one thing pops up, it's like, ooh, let me take care of this. Ooh, let me take care of this. Let me take care of this. Okay, but it's like, okay, make sure you're coming back to those things that you left to go take care of the other thing. Make sure you're coming back to the thing that you forgot about. Like, those are just as important as the new things that are coming up. I feel like a lot of times people with like ADHD or just have trouble focusing on one thing, they go off whenever something pops up, but there's like remaining grounded in yourself and in your identity and priorities. It'll it will not it will not dang, I kind of forgot what I was saying just now. People with those types of kind of like attention issues, it's like being grounded in self and being grounded in what you're doing, it'll be easier each time that you kind of get distracted to come back to yourself and like focus in on what is happening. So for example, it's like, okay, say you're working on a project, you're in the middle of working on the project, someone comes up to you and they're like, oh, do you mind running to the store for me and getting this? And you're like, oh yeah, sure. You drop everything you're doing and you're like, okay, let me handle this and then I'll get back to that. But on the way to the store, you figure out, oh, I gotta clean my car. Oh, now I have to go to the bank. Now I have to do this, that, and now you have all these extra tasks that were not there when you were focused in on what you had to do. So it's just like making sure you know your center so that when you do get distracted, you can come back to yourself. And it says, am I honoring myself, living true to myself, and giving my values the attention they deserve? Have you really been in alignment with the things you say that you do or are? Because it's one thing to say something and be like, oh yeah, I want to do this or I want to do that, or I am doing this or I am doing that, but you have to be aware of your actions, and are your actions aligning with what you're saying? Like, that is also a disconnect between the root and the throat. Like, if you're over here acting out and doing these things and you're over here saying something completely different, or saying something and then acting like a completely different way, then that's an imbalance in itself. That is doing more harm than good. Like, there has to be a balance of perspectives and balance of I'll say like self being rooted in identity. I feel like this whole message just has to do so much with being rooted in yourself and being secure in what you're doing and in how you're doing it and the steps that you're taking. I mean, no one's perfect. We all go through like different things, but at the end of the day, you need to be making sure that you're being authentic to yourself. If you're not even gonna be authentic to anybody, be authentic to yourself. That's literally it. Like, because if you're over here doing things and trying to be a certain way just so that people can admire you or like you, then you're going to lose yourself. You're going to lose that very foundation that was placed within you. And it's so important to keep that, because that is you, that is your purpose, that is your being. And sometimes it gets clouded with other people's perceptions and judgments and just things that are not of you. So I'm gonna pull a card because we have 4 minutes. I want to do a 30-minute read for you guys, so we have time to tap into the energy real quick before this message ends. And I want to say thank you if you sat and watched and listened. It's appreciated, and it doesn't go unnoticed, of course. I'll probably go over the 30-minute mark because when I'm editing, there probably will be some parts I edit out. I want to make sure I get the full 30, you know? So what does my collective need to hear right now in regards to their healing? Ooh, excuse me. These cards are so big. I kind of struggle with shuffling them. They're just so big, like. But I love them. I love them. I do. So it says alternative. Ooh, 40. So this has to do with your throat chakra, the blue, these two fairies here. Alternative. And the way that I'm perceiving this at the moment is, how can you find different ways to help yourself? And it's like, by helping someone else, you help yourself. What other ways in which can you be there for others, which can help you be there for yourself? I want to expand on that. Oh, I love this. I love this deck. This honestly was one of my favorite decks to use. I just stopped using it because I got a new one, and that just be happening. Get a new deck and don't even use the one that. But then again, it's like they're always gonna be there. I want to expand on this message. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, I just love this deck. So we got the Two of Wands in reverse in the Tower of clarifying to that alternative. So it's like, ooh, you're gonna have to, maybe this indecision is guiding you towards a different way. If you've been feeling not so clear or not so sure of what's really been going on, or with yourself, your situation, let this indecision guide you to a different path. Like, sometimes things need to break in order to be fixed. Don't be afraid to break. Don't be afraid of the chaos. And I say that to myself even, like, don't be afraid of the chaos. It's scary to like go into like spaces and it's like, ooh, I just shook that shit up. But at the same time, it's like you kind of be having to shake stuff up in order to see like real growth and real healing. So don't be afraid to make changes. Don't be afraid to step into your healing, because on the other side of that tunnel, it honestly, it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it. Every single time it's gonna be worth it. I think that's all for me today. I thank you guys for listening again, and I hope that this message resonated or helped in some type of way. I appreciate you being here, and I wish you guys the utmost success in your healing. That was so cringy.